Hi guys, I'm Mama Bear to Many. I am mom to 15. I am scratching myself and did not plan on doing this, but this video is going to be talking about my personal health, my health of my family, and some changes that we are going to be making, talking about just how things were in the hospital and yeah, all the things. It's like over 100 degrees. My window's open. You're gonna hear cars driving by because the road's like 15 feet from me. And also the kids are watching a documentary. So if you hear someone talking about bridges, it's not me. Okay, so I wanted to chat about my personal health and yeah. I've gotten a couple comments just about like how I'm caring for my personal health, what my plan is, yada yada yada. It's almost like I'm in this period of just having a baby. You know when you just have a baby, for those of us who have had children before, and you come out of the hospital and there's this like whole regrouping process of what's going on and how you're going to handle life with a new baby and how you're going to handle all the things, and you're just like breastfeeding all the time, or you're trying to figure out how to feed your baby and take care of them, and all the craziness that happens like right after you have a baby. That kind of happened like right when I got home, but not at the same level, at a totally different level. So you are living in a hospital for months in like a crisis mode, right? So every day could be like life or death, especially like in the beginning stages, even honestly up until the last couple weeks, because he had a surgery 2.5 weeks, I think it was, maybe 3 weeks, I'd have to look back, before his discharge. So he was like recovering from that surgery, even in those last weeks. So that can make it challenging for any and all things, because your brain is mentally like prepared to just be in that little zone. You have to zone yourself into this zone in order to handle everything that's going on. So during that first month, we had just moved into a new house. We're bringing a complex baby home. I didn't have all the medical supplies that I was supposed to have at my house. I didn't have all the appointments set up. They had set me up like one appointment, and I was like, that's really weird. I thought I'd have a bunch more. And then they just kept coming and coming and coming and coming, and I didn't even know. And then resources wise, we had just moved into a house. We had given, like down payments for everything. We're trying to figure out what we're doing about our home up north. We actually double paid for 2 months of housing from where we were to this house here, just because the way things were. But we didn't want to lose the opportunity on not being able to get a house in the area that my husband was at. So there was a lot of those challenges, and I know that there's probably seasons in your life it might look different for you. You might not have a baby in a NICU, but it's just kind of like, okay, you just have to take one step in front of another. I really was challenged with lots of people asking questions that I don't know the answer to. And honestly, I'm quite okay not knowing the answer to, because I would love to know all the answers, but there's a certain time in your life that you just have to say, okay, Lord, like, I know that you have me in this place right now. You have shown me, because you keep opening all these doors, all these windows. You keep opening this big picture for our family. I just don't know what it is. And I need to be okay that I don't know what it is, and that's okay. I just have to put my trust that he knows what it is and just roll with it. And I think that there's different philosophies just with different people and different religions, and I understand that as well. But I think like the main underlying thing is just letting go of your thoughts, your emotions around like your life, and just letting God to lead you in the way that you need to be led. It's hard to let go though, right? We're like stubborn people and we don't want to let go. So there has been a lot of challenges. Now I'm in this period where we got out April 13th, April 14th. One of those days we got out of the hospital. So it has been 2 months since then, and every week if I were to average them all out, it's probably like 4 to 6 appointments a week with Azariah. So trying to find some sort of people have asked me like, okay, what's your schedule? What's your, what are your plans? How are you scheduling things? How are you working things out? I don't know. I've just been surviving. I'm sure you've seen like food videos. I'm like, okay, as long as if I get my people fed, then we'll be good. That's like our first go-to. Food and nutrition is really important to our family. It always has been really important to our family. They weren't eating hot dogs and chicken nuggets every night. I'm just going to be thankful. So, food is number one. Food isn't number one. God is number one, but food is high priority in our households. Some people, cleaning is high priority. They would rather eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and macaroni and cheese and whatever, and they're okay with that as long as their house is clean. Mine and our family, our thing is nutrition. So that's always a goal in our household. So me physically, I struggled a lot, and I mentioned it quite a bit in the hospital, is one, I was not being active. It was very tiring, like mentally and physically, because of the mental load on me. But I am so used to being physically active, even if I'm chubby or fat or whatever you want to call me, I'm still a very physically active person. It's kind of funny because I'll go to the grocery store and there will be like these young girls, like last time I went to Aldi or whatever, there's these young girls, and I like pick up the banana box and put it underneath, and she's like, oh my, you're just so strong. It's like, it's a banana box. It's a box full of bananas, Beforehand, we would be like carrying 50-pound bags of grain, and that was just part of life, Manure loads, all those things are part of life. So I don't see myself as completely physically fit, nor do I see myself as completely inactive. But when I was in the hospital, I really struggled because I was not active like I was used to. Plus, I was eating a lot of gluten. They did have gluten-free options, which I found later on, which were great, but it was just really hard, no matter what, to eat the same thing repetitively over and over. I like food. I like taste. I'm a foodie. I do. I really enjoy good food. I love complex flavors being brought together for just delicious meals. So, as you'll see in a lot of my videos, I am putting a lot of seasoning in things because I love a lot of seasonings. I love a lot of flavor. I love the density and complexity that seasonings bring to the table. So, we're on a journey. We do the best that we can do in the moment that we are given. So I now feel like we had an appointment yesterday, which I'll do on a separate update video, but we had an appointment yesterday, and now I feel like, okay, our appointments, Lord willing, are not going to be smushed all together. I'll have 1 or 2 a week versus 4 to 6 a week outside of the home, and then I will have somebody coming in 2 days a week for therapies. That's still a lot. That's still a lot. But some things have happened. When we were there in Boston for 6 days, I was very thankful. 6 days? 5 days. I was very thankful. I was there for all the medical appointments, but we were able to stay in, like, it's kind of like subsidized housing, like specifically for the hospital. And because we're able to stay at this specific place, it was a mile from the hospital. So every day you can get a shuttle back and forth. I was like, why? It's nice out. Azariah loves being outside. Let's just walk. So we would walk each day to the hospital, spend the day at the hospital, walk back. So each day we were walking 2 miles. It was a mile one way. And because of that, my body feels so different. I remember when we first got out, we went to the Rachel Carson Preserve, and we had done that, and I was kind of struggling at the end of it, if I'm to be honest with you guys, which surprised me mentally because I'm used to what my body can handle mentally. And my body couldn't handle it, and I was like, this is really weird to be this out of shape. To do like a simple task of walking, like that's only a little over a mile. So I was just really thankful for those days and blessed by that, because that was like the jump start into me being able to do more physically. And so I'm grateful for that. The other day I went to the same place and I was like, oh, I thought this walk was a lot longer, because I was almost procrastinating it, because I remember how I felt at the end of it, like I was just really tired. And so the baby hadn't slept well the night before, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this walk. But we had these butterflies that we wanted to release the butterflies, and I was like, oh, that would be a perfect place. So we did it, and we like walked through, and I was like, wow, it's not even that long. Like I didn't break a sweat. I was like, okay, this is good, we're good. Now I do have additional challenges, as I have issues with my ankle. Long story, it's been like that for 13 years. They told me eventually I would probably need surgery in it. I just will push that off forever and ever until I can't walk. The good thing about me not having a microphone is you couldn't just hear me chomping on my ice. Maybe you could. There's some of you that could, because you probably are going to be like, you were chomping on your ice and it was annoying me. That's okay. Sorry it's annoying you. If we were sitting right here, I'd be doing the same thing. You're sitting at the table with me, guys. It's just how it is. It's real life. And I need my coffee. It's iced coffee. It's beautiful. It's like 100 and something degrees outside. Open window, iced coffee, beautiful day. So yes, my health, my body, my kids' health, my kids' body, we're getting back in it. You can see my hands do not like gluten. All of my eczema, I realized years ago that all of my eczema is gluten related. Yeah, I know, rough. Anyhow, so all of my stuff is gluten related. I gotta go get this. Sorry, I could see my mailman out there and it looked like the package wasn't fitting in the box, so I didn't want to make him try to get out of the vehicle in this weather, so I tried to make it, but I met him halfway. I went to like shout out the window, but he probably wouldn't have heard me anyway. Okay, so now is the time that I am starting to think forward a little bit as far as our health. I'm thinking forward as far as, let's just go with our health. So I think the biggest thing for me specifically, I'm gonna talk in my terms because my kids get a lot more exercise. My kids get a lot more than I do, but I think that it's important I think that children should be outside for numerous hours throughout the day, and people in general should be outside for numerous hours throughout the day. That's how our bodies were created to be. So, but living where we live, it's really challenging to achieve that. Anyhow, I'm trying to, now that school is out in our area, we live near a school, so if we walk over to the playground by the school, that's like 0.75, like 3/4 of a mile. And then if we walk down to the other playground, which is on the beach, that's a mile. So if I try to, my goal is to try to walk one of those things 4 times a week. So 4 times, or another walk 4 times a week. So to walk, I'd love to walk a little bit more than that, but at this, let's just start where it's achievable for me. So that is what I am doing. I would like to walk that area, or that amount, meaning grand total, if I'm to like add things up, I'd like to walk like 7 miles a week, if not more, which is not a lot, but it's a start. I also am, you'll see like the change in my groceries as we go along. So you will be seeing, less processed things in my foods, as far as like crackers. You'll probably see less wheat products, because we'll probably end up going further back in that. I think that it's better for us in our household is I love to make gluten-free things. At the same time, I would prefer just not to eat that, because one ingredient foods seems to do best with our family. So if you can read the ingredients on the back, yeah, it's a hot day. Then go in the other room that has the air conditioning. I currently have one room kind of blocked off so that that room has air conditioning in it, and then the rest of the house is just windows open and whatever. I'm actually looking for another AC. Our unit is just like a window unit, but I'd like a unit that would go through the 2 big living rooms together. I blocked off so it's just one of the big living rooms. So if you have a recommendation for a specific heater that would cover probably about like 16 by 32 area, put that down in the comments below. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I thought, I don't even know what air conditioners look like anymore. I was looking and there's like these stand-up models, and I was like, yeah, apparently our air conditioner is a dinosaur model. So, that said, actually the breeze feels really nice. The breeze, when there is a breeze, feels really good through this house. I think older houses do that, right? They set it up so it's really breezy. So different things that I want to start and go back to. I think some people who have been here only since Azariah don't realize like who I was before, and who and what my channel kind of was about before. And so nutrition was part of that, and I do know what I'm doing. I just know that there are certain seasons in our life that we just have to be like, it's okay. That can't be top priority right now, and that's okay. And in order for you to have proper mental health, then you need to just be okay with that. Because if you're going to be stressed out because you can't make sourdough bread, but your child is being taken care of, your priorities need to be reset. Your priorities need to be reset to your children come before a clean house. Your children come before fancy foods. They're first. Relationships and humans are more important. So if my house is messy, and anyway, so goals for myself are going to be eating more 1 ingredient foods. That looks like meat, veggies. On one of my videos recently, somebody had mentioned about like one of the toppings that I had put, or a couple of the toppings that I had put on my meat that has like honey or maple syrup, and you guys have type 2 diabetes or whatever. Like, I understand that, but type 2 and type 1 diabetes are 2 separate things, and it needs to be an overall diet. So for us, if we're not eating a lot of processed foods, as in baked goods, as in breads, as in all those things, then to have a little bit of natural sweetener on top as a glaze or something on top of a meat just brings flavor, because I'm not drizzling that completely over my diabetic children's plates. And they need some carbohydrates. They're kids. They need to grow. We can't like live in a 0 carbohydrate world. It's just the type of carbohydrates. I mean, vegetables have carbohydrates. It's just the type of carbohydrates that we are feeding ourselves and our bodies should be a lot lower. So if we have an overall good diet, then lots of times type 2 diabetes would actually go away if we had our goals appropriate. So if you're in that season that you're trying to get those into shape to where you want to be, that's very admirable. But it doesn't mean that because I have type 1 children that my goals are the same as your goals. So you just have to try to decide what's appropriate for you and your household, and I'll decide what's appropriate for me and my household. There's oftentimes, because we are so physically active, that I need to give additional sugar or additional carbs because the kids are so active and their numbers are crashing. So to have good quality foods, as in meat, vegetables, fruit. Some people don't eat fruit. We eat fruit. I think that it's a natural thing. For me, I think I'm not on a diet plan. I don't do keto. I don't do paleo. I do like a combination of what works for us. I don't do Whole30. I do nourishing foods. Nourishing foods to me and my household and how I want to feed my household are, you can think about it, okay? If you were just living off of the land, you have meat, you have vegetables. Could you produce the product for bread? Yes, you could. You could produce the wheat and everything, but it's going to take you a lot of work to do that. So you probably would not be eating massive quantities of bread products on a daily basis. So we don't make bread as like top priority in our food pyramid, or however it's like food scope. Do I think that bread is wrong? Absolutely not. Do I think that gluten-free bread's wrong? No, absolutely not. I just feel it needs to be in its right space. So, one ingredient foods, things that heal your bodies, like bone broth, is huge. So we're going to be incorporating more of that. I'm going to try to make our kombucha again. Those things. Yeah, just normal things that I used to do before. If you've been here since the beginning, which is a handful of you people, love you guys. You know, we're going to go back to some of those old things that we were doing. I would like to try, I've only fermented like sauerkraut, and then I did carrots before, but I think that it would be interesting to try some different ferments. I haven't done that, but I can see the benefit in that as far as like gut health. I think that I'm going to, for now, to jump our season into it. We'll probably have a smoothie a couple times a week with some probiotics. I probably will do like D-Manous as well, because we have a lot of girls. D-Manous is like a cranberry product which helps your urinary tract, which if you ever had a UTI, you can actually fight that with D-Manous. I found that out years ago. I had a daughter who she was like 4, and they tried 4 different antibiotics, including having a break in the middle, and 6 months later she still had a urinary tract infection. And so somebody had said, have you tried this? And I tried it, and we were supposed to go back in again for that appointment, and they're like, oh, it's gone. It must have been the last antibiotic. And I was like, no, I've had her on this for 10 days. That's what helped. And they're like, it can't be. And I was like, her antibiotics were over a month ago. It wasn't the antibiotics, it was this. Anyhow, believe what you will. It really works. I think it's great for whatever. So I'll probably start off our health journey, regroup, whatever you want to call it, with some smoothies like that. And that's the easiest way to get things down, people that may be timid on taking things. So that is what we'll be doing. That's our start. That's where we're going. My goal is not to, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds by August. I'm not really worried about my weight or my size or my shape, because I believe God makes us in all different shapes and size. But I do believe that it's important for us to take care of our bodies as a temple of the Holy Spirit. So that's why I want to do that, whether I am 120 pounds or 180 pounds. I think that it's just important for us to take care of what God gives us. That's with everything, right? Anyway, I think I rambled too much, although I can't tell because I've stopped a bunch of times. So it says 10 minutes, but I don't think it's been 10 minutes. It's been longer than that because only this portion has been 10 minutes. I'm sorry for rambling so much, but it has been asked a couple times what we're doing about health, or why are we not eating the other way, or whatever. I'm just going to try to buy the best products that I can get at the best prices I can get within my budget. So sometimes that's going to be organic, sometimes it's not going to be organic. Organic is not always the best. Organic produce can actually use other pesticides on it. They just have to be approved by the USDA Organic Association or whatever. So you can actually use pesticides in different forms on organic produce. I would rather go to a local farm who's not using too much, or that I know what they're using. As far as meat goes, I probably will try to buy my hamburger either from a butcher or from organic, because they can mix in a certain amount of other products in hamburger and not count it as anything. Yeah, I'll just make the best decisions with what I have. I probably will buy some store-bought milk, but I might buy see if I can find some raw organic milk to make yogurt with. But I might start off just making it with store-bought milk, and that will be okay. So my budget has gone down so that I can do some savings, pay off some debt. If you guys can be praying about that. My husband just called about our tractor, hoping that maybe we might get that sold. That would be a blessing to our family. If you want to be praying for that, we would be eternally grateful. I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day.